Hey everybody, and welcome back to RNBHomestead. Thank you for taking this journey with me from apartment gardening to my homestead in Arizona. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and that bell notification so you're notified every time that I post a new video. And make sure you give us a thumbs up and share these videos. Today, I got a box. Don't know what it is. Might be the lemon Meyer, might be the kumquat. So, you'll have to stay tuned for this video to see what's in the box. So, without further ado, let's get into this video. And welcome back. So today we're going to plant what's in this box. So we're going to open this box and see what it is. It could be my lemon Meyer tree or it could be my kumquat. Not quite sure. So you are going to open this with me and we're going to see what we'll be planting. Let's see. Well, let's see. Looky here, looky here. Of course, they always send the bill. Let's see. We have some unpacking instructions, and we have their newsletter. This actual treat comes from Logees, L-O-G-E-E-S, and they were recommended to me. So let's see what's in here. I'm gonna be real careful because I know it's a tree. Just don't know what kind of tree it is. Let's see. Let's put this over there. They packed it really well so that it didn't get hurt. Ta-da! Look, let's see. I need to open this. Nice and slow here. Unwrap, unwrap, unwrap. And let's see what we have. It's a lot of paper. Aww. Look at the baby tree. So this says this is it's our lemon tree. So that means today we're going to be planting that little baby lemon tree. This is how it comes from Logees. They're actually very reasonable because this is still a baby. So this ran me about $15 for this lemon Meyer tree. So we are definitely going to plant it in the pot because I have my pot here. You know, guys, I do container gardening because I am in an apartment. So, let's get to this. Now, what do I have? I have my gloves to make sure that I don't get my hands dirty. I also have my stick so that we label what I'm growing. As you can see, I have my blueberries and raspberries behind me. And trust me, I kind of forgot what I was actually growing. So, make sure you guys label what you're growing. For my citrus trees, I'm going to use citrus tone here. Because this is a new plant, you're going to use about 1 cup. So basically you put soil in, I'm gonna mix about 1 cup of the citrus tone in the soil. Make sure that I cover the roots of my Meyer lemon, but don't cover the leaves or the flowers over. And we're going to put it in this pot. Now, these trees, we still have not had our last frost date here. I am in Virginia 7A. So our last frost date is April 15th. So this little baby will spend a couple of weeks inside. It's supposed to be warm next week into the 70s. If that's the case, I might harden them off and put them out every hour and then bring them back in so they can get all the sun they want and get accustomed to the cold weather. I also have some water here to water in the Meyer lemon plant. You want to make sure you don't overwater, you don't over fertilize because it's still a baby. Now this pot, I got this pot here from Dollar Tree. It was $1. I went ahead and drilled about 8 holes in the bottom to make sure that when I do water in or water my Meyer lemon plant, it doesn't sit in water, which can cause root rot and kill the plant. And of course, if you're inside, you need to have something to catch that water. So this right here, $2, and this My Lemon Meyer will most likely stay in this pot a good 3 years. This is a dwarf lemon Meyer, so again, I'm in an apartment, so I can't have 8, 10, 12 feet tall trees because I only have a little bit of space. So let's go ahead. We're going to open this. We're going to get it planted, and then we're going to talk about the soil, of course, that I'm using. I've already pre-mixed my soil. Remember, when you're doing the soil, you're using the topsoil, make sure you take some hot boiling water, pour it over that soil, and let it sit for like 24 hours to cool off and then use it. That hot water will kill the gnat larvae that may or may not be in the dirt. Now again, with this being fresh dirt and not dirt from the outside, you shouldn't have any larvae, but you can't be safe but sorry. Also, if you do find out that you have larvae or you get little gnats around the house, I'm going to do a video on how to combat that and do it in a natural, organic way. Don't use any pesticides to get rid of those gnats. So, let's get to this growing, putting this in this pot. Now, I'm a firm believer in having all the information. I have never ever, I love Logis because they not only tell you how to unpack the plant, how to pot the plant, but then they give you a pamphlet for some general care tips on how to take care of your plant. So let's first look at here. It says when you want to unpacking. Like I did, you want to be very, very careful because you have some leaves here and you want to be very careful when unpacking this. That's why they put extra paper in here, put a stick in there to hold the paper, and they actually wrap it in a whole lot of paper. So basically, we're going to go ahead and take off these rubber bands because they're holding the little black covering, plastic covering over our plant. And as you can see, there we go. There is our plant. And they actually put shredded paper here to hold in moisture when shipping their plants because they are, forget where they're located. Let's see. Let's check the bill because the bill always has the address on there. They are located in Connecticut. So, they make sure that they send these and ship these economically, but also safely for the plants. And if you do have a problem when you receive your plants, go ahead and give them a call. They have excellent customer service. Now, with their plants, they suggest that you do a transition period. It says here, they said that you want to put it in a moderate temperature between 65 to 75 degrees in good light, but out of the hot noonday sun. So tomorrow we'll put this out maybe around 10 or 11, or maybe even later to give it some more sun. But we're definitely going to put it next to the windows, as you can see behind me, to give it some sun and get it acclimated within where it's at. And we're going to technically, you want to put these where you're going to permanently put it. So this is actually going to go out on the balcony. But again, like I said, my last frost date is not for approximately 5 more weeks. So Mr. Lemon Meyer is going to be staying in the house. now that I think about it, I need to name my plants, my little fruit trees. So if you guys think we could have a nickname for Mr. Lemon Meyer, go ahead and drop that below in the comments so we can find out what we're going to name our little man here. Next, they talk about repotting the plant. Like I said before, Logis, they give you complete instructions on how to handle their trees. And I read it and follow it because why? It's their tree. They should know how to take care of it. Now, looking at their instructions, I usually take the tree out and then I pinch this and turn it to the side and take it out to plant it. They also recommend, now some people will recommend that you take the root system. Hopefully this is a good deep bulb root system. Some people suggest you take the root system and kind of pull it apart. They're recommending for their tree that you don't do that. So they were nice enough to actually even give me a timeline here for the plant. So basically you unpack the plant, you move the plant, and you remember to water the plant. Now I actually have a device here that I meant to show you guys. Let me get it right quick. Costs you $5 in your big box store. You can check your moisture, your pH, or your light by putting this in the soil of your plants. So make sure you go ahead and get this. This just takes the guesswork out of your soil to make sure that you have healthy plants. You always want to make sure you have good soil, enough water, don't overwater, and they have enough food. Now, I'm putting the food in here that's fertilizer that's in 1 cup for right now, but it's scheduled. You usually would feed a citrus tree 3 times a year, January, February, then in May, and then in September. And so then you make sure you're not overfeeding it, but you're making sure you're giving it some nutrients. So let's go ahead and pull this little pot apart. Let me put my gloves on because I did go ahead and I put a little dirt down there, but with this being such a baby plant, I'm going to go ahead and fill this up some more. And I know you guys don't want to see me fill a pot. So we'll be right back once I fill this pot up, and then I'll show you how to take the plant out of its container that it comes in, repot it, and make sure that we water it and fill it in. Oh, before I go, I just thought of something. I didn't tell you what kind of soil I use. Duh. So I have a topsoil, and like I said before, I take my topsoil and I actually take hot boiling water and pour it over and let the topsoil sit. Then I mix in some peat moss and some black cow. So that's my standard mixture that I use. Everyone has their mixture. Some people use cocoa coir. It really depends on what works for you. Actually, the topsoil that I use has perlite in it already, so I don't have to buy extra to put into the pot. So welcome back. So as you can see, I've gone ahead and filled my pot up to the rim. I did not fill it all the way up because again, when you're watering, you don't want the soil to overflow the top of the container. So I went ahead and I filled the pot up here, as you can see. Wow. Now, what we're going to do before we put our little Meyer lemon in there, remember I told you I'm going to use the citrus tone to fertilize this plant. And because it is a new planting, you need about 1 cup. as you know, I always come prepared. Let's go in here. It'd probably be better to pour it. Now these bags, you usually can get at your box stores. Depending on your area, it's sometimes a little bit harder to get. I used Tractor Supply to get mine because my other stores did not have any. Okay, so we got a cup. There's a citrus tone in here. We're going to take it. Now, before I put it in there, I'm going to make me a little hole here. And then I'm going to pour this around. Now, what you don't see is that I usually take some mulch and put it around my trees, but I won't put that mulch until I put them outside. So right now I do not have mulch on this. So I guess you could keep your gloves on, but I don't. So again, take the little plant, you squeeze it from the side, try not to hurt it. As you can see, look at this beautiful root system. Remember what I told you, Logi suggests you do not pull their root system apart on their trees. Go ahead and take this paper off though, and we're going to put him right there, and we're going to fill in the little hole that I dug. And look at that, he is all set. It may not look like it, but he is actually, I should have kept the gloves on, just being hard-headed. Anyway, I put him in the little middle. Now remind you guys, we need a name for our blueberry trees, our raspberry, our gooseberry, our pomegranate, our kiwi. I planted, oh, and a fig tree. So we need some names. So you know, guys, go down there and suggest some names that we can call our little Meyer tree. Now, we have him put in there, and I'm going to water. Now mind you, I felt the root system of the lemon tree when they sent me, so it's still kind of moist, so I'm not going to put a whole lot of water in here, but I do want to water this plant in to go ahead and moisten the soil around it. Now this little device, I actually got this idea from Homestead Rd. She actually had this device, and basically you can control where you put the water at. So we can go ahead and water it in, and like I said, this has holes at the bottom, about 6, no, this has 8 good holes at the bottom, so the water can drain off, because you do not want to have your plants sitting in water. They can get root rot, and they will die. Now usually I just spray, but because I'm trying to water this little baby in, take this lid off right quick, and pour some water, and water this baby in. Okay. So we've repotted our lemon Meyer. We've watered her in, or him in, depending on what name I choose. We've gone ahead and fed our lemon Meyer. Now, let's make sure you tag your lemon Meyer so you know what is in this pot. I usually put the date and the name of the tree that I potted. And look at that, here we go. We're going to grow some Meyer lemons. So I want to thank you guys for taking this journey with me to container gardening in my apartment all the way to my land in Arizona. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you're notified every time that I drop a video. Also make sure to hit the subscribe and like button. But until next time, see you later.